Well, it's a nasty, wet, and rainy day outside Turner Gym, but inside it's heating up as we get ready for a big event tonight with the Deer World Group, hashtag Deer Lynchburg, starting at 8 p.m. But first, we're going to welcome you inside the weekly sting, everybody. This week, I'm Joe Hutzler, your host. And before we get to our first of 4 guests, the most guests we've ever had on the weekly sting, let's remind you about our social media accounts, as we always do, because once again, they are going to be crucial for you to know all the information of the NCAA tournament weekend coming this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. You see them on your screen. Be sure to follow us before Saturday gets here. All right, let's get to someone who's going to be playing on Saturday and hopefully Sunday as well. Our first guest, Emily Maxwell of women's soccer. Emily, thank you for coming on the show. Yes, a round of applause. Emily, we're gonna dive right into the games this weekend and the fact that you guys have been here before in terms of experience. You obviously have been all the way before. My question for you is, how do you translate your previous knowledge to those that maybe haven't been here before in this situation to help them prepare themselves?
So even this weekend differs a lot from like the ODAC tournament. I mean, it's still a tournament environment, but it's a completely new tournament. And so basically we're just trying to help spread the message that it's a new tournament and everybody's out there to win it, and so everybody's playing for their seniors, and it's just going to be a super competitive environment, and we're all playing for one more game. So.
Absolutely, survive in advance, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times teams through conference tournaments pick up some kind of steam heading into the NCAA tournament if they're fortunate enough to go. What do you think you guys picked up from your tournament success in the ODAC that you can translate to the NCAAs?
I think for us it was, we got some confidence a lot during the ODAC tournament because both those games we played extremely well, and so it was just great timing and great momentum that's going to carry us into this weekend.
Now let's talk about Emily off the pitch, and a really interesting fact that I had no idea about was that you have a dream, as we all do, but yours is to foster special needs animals, which I've never heard that said before. So can you explain a little bit as to what qualifies as a special needs animal?
So it's kind of a weird thing, but I don't know, I just personally think they're really cute. And I don't know, anything from like 3-legged dogs or like 2-legged dogs or whatever kind of animal. They could have like balance problems and like blind, deaf, kind of any
physical features,
disability.
Like
I just think they're adorable and they deserve a chance. And
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. So Emily's probably the lady you see at the Humane Society all the time, seeing who she can rescue.
Haven't had the time yet, but hopefully in my retired life.
Not yet. Absolutely. I do want to mention something that's really neat in that growing up, you were part of a military family, so you're all over the world, really. And you sent me a picture that had you playing as a youth soccer player. Was that in another country? Yeah,
so that was actually in Holland. So I lived in Germany for 3 years, and that picture there was with the American team I played for, so ODP Europe. But every Easter we would travel to Holland for an Easter Open tournament, so
that's where it all began.
That trip, yep.
In Dutchland. Speaking of traveling, I do want to bring up your trip to Africa this past summer, which I was fortunate enough to travel with you. And you've also gone to Costa Rica before, and you've been obviously traveling with the team in the past. What's something that you still hang on to from that trip? Because it's easy for all of us to come back and be so motivated once we get here, but you still have things that help you stay motivated to help others because of what you experienced in Africa?
I think for me, just kind of like the rawness of everything you experienced over there is what brings me back to why I'm playing and why you do things that you do just in everyday life. And so that's kind of what I try to hold on to and try to just, even now, just remind the team like why we're playing. We're playing for the joy of the opportunity to play that not everybody gets to experience. And so just like, little things like looking back at pictures or something our team did this year was we had to pick a rock of significance, and mine came from Africa. And so it's like, just remembering the feelings that you got while you were over experiencing those opportunities.
My favorite picture that I took of you was when you had all the school kids around you and they were pulling on your hair.
Yeah.
Because they'd never seen blonde hair before. I just think that's like one of those cultural things that you don't expect.
Yeah.
When you go to another country, you're like, whoa, look at that. Just hair amazes those little kids. And it was a really, really cool experience. And we're excited to see you add another cool experience to your portfolio this weekend against McDaniel, and hopefully on Sunday, either Christopher Newport or Corbini. Emily, thank you very much for your time on the show today.
Thank
and
you.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after a short break with Amani Jones of women's soccer. Welcome back, everyone, to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. I forgot to mention all the accolades for Emily Maxwell in the last segment. ODAC Women's Soccer Player of the Year, Scholar Athlete of the Year, and today named to the All-District team as well. I'm certain that there'll be more for her, so congratulations to her on that. Now, let's get to our Hornet trivia question, which of course deals with soccer because it's an all-soccer show. How many times have men's and women's soccer won the ODAC title in the same year? The answer coming up in the next segment. But before we get to that, let's get to our next guest. Amani Jones is here, everyone. Everybody clap for Amani, that's right. Amani, of course, knows everybody that's behind the cameras as a member of LHSN with photography. And let's start there with the photography angle. It's obvious to us that you enjoy photography, but I'm curious to know, how does that come about? Did someone give you one as a child and it just kind of sparked from there? Or where'd that love and passion for photography come from?
Well, my stepdad, Leon, he gave me a camera, gave me a Canon 10D. And at first I was just like, oh, this is cool. Like, I can take pictures, I can take to the beach with me and do all of that. But then, like, I started to, like, kind of grow a passion for it. And then he gave me another camera, which was a 40D. And that was, like, where I really, like, started to take off. And then I saw that he had a Canon 5D Mark II, and I was like, I want that camera. And at the time, like, it was $2,000, and I was like, I want it. And he gave it to me.
Wow.
So a lot of my camera stuff has been from him, and that's kind of where I've gotten the passion. He will say that I'm a better photographer than he is, but I think it's just because I do it more than he does. And he just kind of has all the stuff.
Right.
Just,
the more you practice, the better you get,
yeah.
Naturally. Now, in addition to obviously shooting sports, you also photo anything. I mean,
yeah.
that comes to mind. And most recently, myself and B got the opportunity of you take pictures of us. When you go into a filming situation like that or a photography situation like that, it's different from sports. It's very static. What is your mindset like? How do you change your brain to, okay, now I'm looking for these types of shots instead of my normal action shots?
So in your guys' situation, a lot of it is kind of like reactions. So I try to get your guys' reaction of, like, as you're getting shaved and the crowd. So, like, when B stood up and she was in the huddle of our team and she was, like, getting her head, like, rubbed. It was cool to see everybody's reaction. Hannah looked super excited and Jess was really happy. So you kind of look for moments like that people are going to look back and be like, oh yeah, like, I remember how I felt during that moment. And it's kind of the same in sports, especially during big championship games. I remember talking with Gracie, and when she got that photo of Ben when he scored the game winner like 2 years ago for the men's ODAC championship, like, she was talking about how she just wanted to be there. And she had seen so many game-winning goals that she was focused on getting the crowd reaction and Ben's reaction and all of that. So
again, back to the experience factor of being there before. Now, for Amani off the field, you're getting ready for graduation and all that fun stuff, of course. You want to be a physician assistant in 2 different potential areas. What about that excites you? Where's that that thought of this is the path I want to head, especially in family medicine? Why do you want to go that way?
Well, personally, growing up, my pediatrician was amazing, and I loved her. I always loved going to the doctors. I loved seeing her.
That's different.
And well, she was nice. Like, I don't know, she was a great doctor. I loved her. But I've always had a passion for working with children. I love kids so much, and so that's why I want to go pediatrics. And family medicine is kind of similar. I would be in a family setting, which means I would see children, but I would also get the experience of like working with adults, which, you know, is a lot easier than working with children. But children, I feel like you never know what they're going to say. And so every day at work would be, you know, I'd be hearing about, you know, different things. And so just the idea of working with children every day just kind of excites me.
It would feel like a new day,
yes.
A new job every day, basically. Last thing I want to get to is, of course, the most at the moment thing on your plate, which is women's soccer and the NCAA tournament. Going back there again, what's different about this team? You were a part of it as a freshman, going to the championship game. You were part of it as a sophomore and junior from different capacities, but, you know, going to Rowan and, you know, being in that environment too. But as far as the team is concerned, what is the thing about this year's team, your senior year, that is different than the past successful teams?
I think the difference is our demeanor. I think our team attitude is different. Like, we've had to overcome a lot of like internal issues this year, which I don't think we've ever had to face. We've never had any sort of like internal adversity. And so I think going forward, we just have had a different way of how we do things. And so I think going through that struggle internally has made us stronger, like as ourselves, and then coming together as a team, especially with how we won ODAX. Like, that was such a great team effort, and everyone was like buying in, and that was really what helped us in 2014. Everyone was buying into like our word, which was Ubuntu, and, you know, that means I am because we are. So we just all had to be on one accord, and I just think that we're heading there now. And so
I'd have to agree. The times I've been around you guys, it feels like you've grown as the season has come along, and that's what makes a dangerous team, a team that's feeling good about themselves internally and outwardly. So looking forward to what you guys can do this weekend. Again, they're playing McDaniel College on Saturday at 7:30, and then hopefully at 7 o'clock on Sunday at CNU. Imani, thank you so much
for
coming on the show. Really do appreciate it. Good luck with soccer and photography heading forward. We'll take a short break. When we come back, men's soccer's Ryan Mayolo on the Weekly Sting. Welcome back, everyone, to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. Before we get to Mr. Mayolo, let's get to our trivia answer. In the last segment, we asked you in the Hornet trivia question for this week about the two teams, men's and women's soccer, winning the ODAC title. How many times have men's and women's soccer won the ODAC title in the same year? The answer is, coming up, twice, 2010 and 2014. Important note there, those 2 years, somebody went to the national championship. Who will it be this year? We're about to find out. Let's get on to our next guest, Mr. Ryan Mayolo of men's soccer. Ryan?
Thanks for having me on, Joe.
Happy to have you here on the show, and let's talk about men's soccer really quickly. Let's do that first. And this team just feels like the most confident team, one of the ones I've ever been around, period. You've obviously been through the program for 4 years now. You've seen a lot of success, 3 ODAC championships that you've been a part of. What about this team makes you feel more confident than the past?
Well, a lot of it did start last year because we did very well last year after a kind of a bum sophomore year. So we've been building ever since then, and with the new players coming in, we're having some freshmen that are stepping up and really filling the shoes of the people that left and taking spots that we might not have expected. So as a result, we're better than ever, and we're confident. We're on a long undefeated streak right now, and I hate to talk about it, but since we're on here, and mention it, we're really excited for the weekend and playing the strong teams this weekend and close games we had this weekend, I think is going to help prepare us for the tournament ahead.
Yeah, 9 all ODAC team members selected, Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Coach of the Year within the ODAC. That's a pretty good recipe for success. Now, you mentioned the teams this weekend that are coming here to Lynchburg College: Penn State, Abington, Dickinson, and Emory. 2 of those 3 teams you haven't played yet, but the first one, Penn State, Abington, you have. They also won their conference championship and probably look a little bit different than they did back in the first week or 2 of the season in September. What are the benefits of playing a team that you've already faced, but also what have you seen that may be a little bit different than before?
So the benefit of playing a team that you've already faced is obviously you have that experience. So now you know maybe who the strongest players are, the play style that they like. But obviously that was 2 months ago. So teams have changed a lot since then. I know we've changed a lot since then. Our starting lineups now are very different than they were at the beginning. Every team that make this tournament is on a roll because they know in order to make the NCAA tournament, you have to be doing well. So
hard to back in.
Exactly. So there's really no flukes that make the tournament. So obviously this team has turned their season around from maybe a rocky start. So you can never be overconfident for a game, but I think playing them before will give us an edge.
Let's talk about Mr. Mayolo off the field. Again, everybody we've talked to today are seniors, so you're thinking ahead after the season's over to what life will be like after Lynchburg College. And you're still trying to figure out exactly where you want to go. But my thing is that I was taken back by was you have an active real estate license. Active, like he can sell stuff now, folks.
I can.
What are you potentially selling right now? What is the part of real estate that you're into that makes you confident that you can be active and actually make something of it?
Well, a couple years back, year and a half ago, I had an internship at Central 21. So I was the operations intern, didn't do any selling, but I kind of learned the back end, and that got me really interested in the industry. And I was like, hey, it's not very expensive to get a license. Might as well try and get one. So I went and took the test and did all the proper schooling, passed the test, and fully activated my license this summer, paid all the dues, which was exciting. I haven't sold anything. I'm a full-time student. I've been focusing on soccer right now, but after school, I'm looking to try to get some rentals or some housing sales. So I know that getting my name out there and knowing people graduating are going to be looking for places to stay. So hopefully I can help them out.
That's right. That's right. Right here, folks. He's right here. This is the guy you want, okay? Box this profile picture right now and save it. I want to ask you, from that internship, what exactly made you want to take it a step further, other than, because again, you weren't selling anything, but what did you see that was like, hey, you know what? I can do this too.
2 major things. One, my dad was in real estate a little while back, not as active now, but he kind of put the seed in my head. And then when I had this internship, I was around a bunch of great people, a bunch of very successful people. And I was like, wow, I kind of want to be like that. I want to be successful just like them. So I thought this was one of the first steps I could take to make that transition.
Well, if there's anything you've learned from being around Lynchburg men's soccer, it's being around successful people, because you have done that for 3 of the 4 years winning the title. First time since 1984 a senior class has won 3 out of their 4 years. So in good company there, back to the Schellenberger days. Ryan, really appreciate your time today. I know you got a lot to focus on for this weekend, and we're very excited to broadcast all of it, of course, on LHSN. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks so much.
Really appreciate it. One more guest, folks, on this jam-packed weekly sting. Ryan Pikunas will be on after this. And after another great week of practice, Coach Kudelka is very excited about the rest of... Hold on. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, Dell, I'm so sorry. Please don't go anywhere. Dell, I didn't mean it. Please. Happy to have you back here on this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. I'm Joe Hutzler. As we get ready for our last guest, I do want to make one mention. It's Willie Folk's birthday of LHSN. Everybody give a round of applause to Willie. Happy birthday, Willie. All right, let's move on to the guy sitting next to me, Mr. Ryan Pikunas. Thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate having you on. You're part of history today. First time we've had 4 guests on the show, so you being the 4th guest. Congratulations.
It's exciting.
Right? Not as exciting as the history you guys made this past weekend, of course, winning the ODAC championship. When you look at this season as a whole, and maybe even more so the weekend that was here, the semifinal and the final, what did you guys take from that? What do you know that after those results and the way they were won that will make you have the confidence needed to come out of this weekend and advance to next weekend as well?
I think the main things that we took from the weekend is 1, confidence, and 2, we're just excited to play this weekend. And I know everyone, or a lot of people have heard that we're hosting potentially 2 NCAA games this weekend, which would be very cool. And I think the main thing is just confidence, because the 2 results we got this weekend at least proved to me, and I'm sure the rest of the guys on our team, that we can compete with anyone in the country, and we're confident in doing that.
I want to talk about your area of the field, being back on the back line, the defense, the last line of defense, really with Dylan behind you and Austin on your line and Clay and just guys that can come in interchangeably. Don't forget about the Rookie of the Year, Bailey Kearns. What do you guys do that makes you so well tight-knit and your chemistry that's so good? Because when we watch it from high atop, it's just, you guys don't even have to say anything. You just know where you're going to be. How do you make sure that takes care of itself, especially adding that freshman component this year?
Well, it's been tough adding. I mean, Thomas Salomon we had as our right back last year, and he was a key component of our back line. But Bailey's stepped in and done a great job. And I think the main thing is we take pride in not allowing teams to score goals, and if they do score a goal, it's going to be a tough one. So, I mean, Dylan's done a great job communicating to us, and we get in the right spots. And yeah, I think the main thing is just pride. And Coach Josh Hinkle, he's been on us all year about that we could be potentially one of the best back lines in the country. So, I mean, we try and take that serious, and we believe that we are.
He's not wrong, and you have a chance to prove it, which is the ultimate goal, getting into the NCAA tournament. Let's talk about life off the field and hobbies you enjoy. Of course, you obviously want to be around sports, and basketball is another one that you enjoy. But also, you stick with soccer in the spring by coaching at Jefferson Forest. Talk to me about the opportunity to do that, because Virginia is one of the very few, if not the only, states that play soccer in the spring. So how nice is it that you get to play in the fall and then still be around it in the spring?
Oh, it's a great opportunity for me. Anytime I can give back to the game is something I look forward to, because it makes me appreciate all the coaches that I've had in the past and helped me get to where I am today. So if I can give back to the game and help some high school kids out, and I mean, they look up to me, which is pretty cool because I'm a college soccer player and all that. But yeah, it's a fun time. So me and Scott Zaring, Coach Scott Zaring, and Nate Burning will go over to Jefferson Forest, and we have a good time with it.
No doubt about that. And we just saw here on the screen you as a youngin playing soccer. My question for you with that is, when did you know that soccer was going to be your thing, that was going to be your passion? Because there are a lot of people even standing around us now that have played Little League soccer. It's kind of one of the things that you do, but you kind of grow out of it, or you grow into it. What made you want to stay with it?
I think my dad, he was the main part in pushing me into soccer, and once I found out that I could compete at a high level as a young kid, I think I enjoyed it, and he pushed me to keep getting better and stay into the game, and he helped me fall in love with the game. So I appreciate that, and he's helped me as well as my 3 younger brothers, and we're all still involved in the game. So fun. Last
thing I'll ask you in relation to your position in the sport of soccer is, you're one of the guys that we know we're going to see overlap. You're going to come up, you're going to play offense as well. Where does that passion come from that you want to work on being able to add to your game to the point where you're not just playing back on defense and keeping it away from the other team, but you're also a threat when you jump up front?
I think it's a lot. It makes soccer more fun.
For sure.
Defense doesn't always get all the glamour and all the attention, but I mean, it's fun. I love getting around, and that's a big part of our team this year. Me and Bailey get around a lot, and it just helps the offense out. And it makes it more fun.
Well, we see how much fun you have when someone else scores just as much as when you do, because you're typically the guy that comes in from way outside and still keeps the party going, and we love that, and we hope to see it again, of course, this weekend and next weekend and the next weekend until, of course, we're in Greensboro, North Carolina for the national championship, hopefully. Ryan, thank you so much for your time today. Good luck this weekend, and, of course, Get ready, folks, because they will be on the field Saturday at 2 o'clock and then hopefully at 4 o'clock on Sunday. Ryan, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for the show this week. We really appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to follow LynchburgSports.com for all the action this weekend for men's and women's soccer. Plus, equestrian has an event at home, and cross country is in these regionals at Christopher Newport University on Saturday at 11 and 11:30. We will have highlights of all of that, yes, all of it, on Monday morning on the Daily Buzz, 7 a.m. on Facebook and LynchburgSports.com. Remember, it's a great day to be a Hornets, and we are one nation.